Okay, so we solved for number 7 yesterday, correct?
8.
We did 8 yesterday. Okay, so we're doing 7 today. Thank you. So number 7, it says solve the right triangle. What does solve the right triangle mean? Solve for all the missing pieces, all the missing angles, all the missing sides. So let's solve for the side first. How do I find the missing side when I'm given 2 sides? Pythagorean theorem. Which one of these is going to be C? The hypotenuse. So that means we're going to have 6 squared plus 12 squared equals, I'm going to keep calling it C. C squared. 6 squared is 36. 12 squared is 144. Add them together, we get 180. So my last step to find the hypotenuse, take the square root. I believe the directions say to the nearest tenth. Yep, nearest tenth. Square root of 180 is 13.4. So we're going to go off to the side. What is the name of that side? AC, and it equals 13.4. So please keep in mind that there are 3 answers in this problem, and I have 105 students. So for this one problem alone, it's a lot to look for. So you need to make sure you label AC equals 13.4. Because if I don't know, it's marking wrong and I'm moving on with my life. Okay? So to ensure that you get the points you want and the need, make sure you write off to the side and label. So we're going to then find the measure of the angles, angle C, and the measure of angle A. Which one do we want to find first?
A. C.
Sure. Sorry, Breezy. What kind of side is 6?
Opposite.
And then 12 is?
Adjacent.
So which trig ratio is that?
Tangent.
Tangent. From C. And it'll equal the opposite of 6 over the adjacent 12. How do I solve for an angle? Use the inverse of 6 over 12. Do we agree 26.6?
Yes.
So the measure of angle C is 26.6. We're going to find the measure of angle A. So from A, what kind of side is 12? And then 6 is now. So which trig ratio? Still tangent from, we said A. Equals the opposite, 12 over the adjacent 6. So you're going to use the inverse, so shift tangent of 12 over 6. 60 what? Perfect. Degrees. So all 3 of these are the answer. Anytime it says solve the right triangle, you're finding 3 things. Okay? So you're going to go ahead and put those set of notes aside. We're going to continue on the right triangle word problems notes. I believe we're on page 2. We're just going to finish page 2, and then you're going to work with a partner. So page 2. The angle of elevation of a ladder leaning against a wall is 70. So let's talk about the picture we've got going on here. So in words, I'm not even worried about the numbers right now. What is my vertical line going to be? It's the wall. Because a ladder leans. Yeah. So your ladder is the leaning piece. And then what is the bottom? The ground. So anywhere the horizontal and the vertical meet is going to make a right angle. So it's a right angle. So now let's go back. The angle of elevation. So we're talking about a side or an angle. We're talking about an angle. So an angle of elevation of a ladder leaning against a wall is 70. So the angle of elevation is 70. The angle of elevation opens up, and it has to have a horizontal ray. So angles are made up of 2 rays, and one of them has to be horizontal, and it has to open upward. So we already have that. which of my two acute angles opens upward? The top or the bottom? The bottom. Here's my horizontal line, and then it opens upward towards the top of the wall. So what is the measure of my angle of elevation? 70. So 70 degrees goes in that corner. The base of the ladder, where's the base of the ladder? The bottom, right? So here's the base of the ladder. Is 1.4 meters from the base of the wall. Where's the base of the wall? On the ground, right? So if that's the base of the ladder and that's the base of the wall, and there's 1.4 meters between them, so where's my 1.4 going to go? The bottom on the ground. Meters. Find the length of the ladder. Which one of these sides represented the ladder? The ladder, the hypotenuse. Yeah. So I know my ladder is the hypotenuse. My 1.4, is that opposite or adjacent? It is adjacent. So we're dealing with the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So which trig ratio is that? Cosine. From 70 degrees will equal the adjacent, 1.4, over the hypotenuse, x. Will I need to flip this? I will. So 1 over cosine of 70 equals equals x over 1.4. Multiply both sides by 1.4. Do we agree? 4.1 meters. Did you want me to check it? All right, so we're going to do the next one. There is a question like this on your classwork. You buy an isosceles style tent that with equal sides of 6 feet. What does isosceles mean to me? Yeah, two congruent sides. Good. So hopefully you've seen a tent before. There are people who haven't. But the two congruent sides would be the ones not on the bottom, because that would make sense. So 6 feet and 6 feet. So we have an isosceles triangle. The base of the tent is 10 feet long. So where's the base? The ground. Okay. And then it says find all of the angles. So here's the problem. When do we use trigonometry? So sine, cosine, and tangent. When do we use this?
One angle, one side.
Okay, but what kind of triangle?
Right.
Right triangle. Is this a right triangle?
No.
No. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw the height of the triangle. So go ahead and draw the height. So that's my hint. Draw the height. We had a problem like this on a homework the other day. So draw the height. So here's why this matters. A vertical line and a horizontal line, they are perpendicular. So this is a right angle now. What can you guess about these two triangles? They're congruent. So if I found the angles in this triangle, I found the angles in this triangle. But my entire goal is to find these three angles. Everyone understand? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. So we're going to begin. Your height is dropped down. What can you guess about what it does to the 10-foot base? Cuts it in half. Because it's isosceles, these two pieces will be congruent. So 5 and 5. We are going to find this bottom left angle. Here's why. The top angle is cut into two pieces. Does everyone see that? So to make our lives easy, we're going to find this angle, and these two will be the same, right? Then we'll have two of the angles out of the three angles, and we'll be able to find all the angles. Is everyone okay with this? Okay, so we're going to find x here, because this x will be the same as this one. So if that is the case, we're only looking at this triangle right here. We're going to use trigonometry. So which ratio do you think we're going to use here? Cosine, because 5 is adjacent and 6 is hypotenuse. So we are going to use cosine. From an angle we don't know, I called mine x. It'll equal 5, the adjacent, over the hypotenuse 6. So since you're solving for an angle, you're going to use the shift button. Perfect. So, if this angle is 33.6, what do we know about the bottom right angle? So we got 33.6, 33.6, and then how do I find the third angle in my triangle? Add them and subtract from 180. 33.6 and 33.6 are 67.2. Perfect. 112.8. Did you hit the shift button? What you got?
Mm-hmm.
So we added these and then subtracted from 180. All right, we got one more, and then you're going to work with a partner. You are skiing. You're skiing on a mountain with an altitude of 1,600 feet. So what is an altitude? The height. Yeah, the vertical. Of 1,600 feet. The angle of depression is 32 degrees. So angle of depression always opens downward, and it has to have a horizontal ray. So what's going to happen? In order for my angle to open downward, it's got to be from the top to open down. So you're going to draw a horizontal line as one of the rays, and then an angle pointing downward. So I know it seems silly to put a horizontal dotted line it's not actually there. Have you ever heard of land surveying? It's like the people on the side of the road with like a tripod type thing, and they do stuff. You'll have to be able to do something like this for land surveying, or even people in the military at basic training, they do surveying their land. They like sent out into the woods, and they have to figure life out, and so anyways, just so you know, I'm not making it up, and it's not crazy. What do we think the horizontal line will be here? Like in words, not numbers. What am I drawing when I draw the horizontal line? Don't overthink it. The bottom, so the ground. So the bottom of the slope, the ground, however you want to say that. So, this 32 degrees angle of depression is not actually in my triangle, but it is congruent. What would we call these two angles? Alternate interior. So they are congruent to each other. Okay. So then the last thing, it says, find the distance you ski down the mountain. So here's what a lot of people are struggling with when we put X. A lot of people are putting X on sides when it's an angle, or angles when it's a side. Here, it says the distance you ski down the mountain. So am I looking for an angle or a side? A side. Which one of these, theoretically, are you skiing down? The hypotenuse. So you ski down this one. So we're going to put X. So we're going to use a trig ratio. What kind of side is 1,600? And then X is hypotenuse. So which trig ratio is that going to be? Sine from, we said, 30. Is it 32? Yeah, 32. Equals the opposite, 1,600 over the hypotenuse, which we don't know. Can I multiply both sides? No, I've got to flip. Multiply both sides by 1,600 after you flipped. We're going to round to the nearest tenth. 3,019.3 feet. Sounds ridiculous as an answer, but you are skiing. And you were at 1,600 feet up. So that is where we're going to pause today.